So we're back for day 4 and we're taking inspiration from our April panels this time, and we were looking at pastels in April. So I don't often use pink in my work, so I thought I'd take the opportunity. I've cut out a G from some nice pink fabric and it's got bond web on the back already. I've put a marker in to show where that should be positioned, and now I'm just pressing it to hold it in place while we add our stitches. I'm not using paper now because I'm well away from that metallic fabric. So that's it, holding it in place. We used this variegated thread quite a lot during April. It's an anchor thread with lots of different pastel shades, and I'm just taking 2 strands there. Now our stitches in April were knots, and we looked at bullion knots and colonial knots, pistol stitch and French knots, and I thought French knots would be a good option for this letter. So I'm just going to add some French knots in different pastel shades all around the edge. If you're not sure about French knots, I will link the stitch guide at the top of the screen in a card so you can go and check that out, but I'll just talk you through the knot as I'm stitching it. So if you bring your thread up and hold it tight in your non-dominant hand, then you lay your needle against that thread and wrap the thread over the top of the needle twice. Then you keep tension on that working thread all the time. Take your needle back down just a little way away from where the thread came out of the fabric, and keep tension on the thread until the last minute. When you let it go, it will form a nice tight neat little knot. And so I'm just going to work lots of those scattered around the edges of the G. I don't want to hide the fabric, so I want to space them out, and I'm going to try and get lots of different shades of pastels in there. This is an anchor thread, and anchor variegated threads tend to have the colours quite widely spaced along the thread, so you have to go for quite a long time before you start seeing a different colour. So I'm doing it artificially here. I've just put in some green, I think, here, and I'm just putting some green knots in, just working back in the opposite direction so that the colours are sort of scattered together. Now I've got some yellow that goes into lilac, I think, so this is a bit where the colours switch, a bit of thread where you actually see a transition. So I've got some yellow and lilac in there, and I'm just going to keep adding knots until I'm happy. Then I can finish it off on the back, and that's our April letter. So that's how we've done it. Do join me again tomorrow when we're going to add our May letter. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.